Welcome back to the Community Well. It is your host, Ana Tivisaya Yubiojo. I'm so excited, y'all. It's another week, another episode, and we have our first guest. I feel like you're always first, friend. Like, it's a thing.
I don't know about it.
Listen, neither am I. Our first guest is already locked in as part of the TCW familia. She's no stranger to y'all, okay? Petra Pindar, my friend, my sis, our Faith Bestie.
Yes,
Yes,
in
welcome
real life.
in real life.
In real life. I'm always excited to be here. You are my favorite person to be the first with.
I love that. I'm gonna get that on a t-shirt and I'm gonna send it your way.
It's a thing because sometimes you don't want to be the first for somebody. Like, work it out a little bit. Work it out.
Figure it out. And we got kinks over here, but
Yeah, but I'm fine with that.
different.
I'm good.
Listen, I was telling the fam because y'all know we keep it 100, and I was telling friend that I was nervous, like recording again and recording with the people, but it just feels
Yeah.
good. It's like a different type of nerve, like
Yeah.
this is where you're supposed to be, and it feels so good. So I'm so glad that it's you doing this with me. So I appreciate you, friend.
Listen, it's always a yes.
Listen, I love it. That's
Oh.
why y'all need friends like that, which is what we're going to be talking about on today.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I'm excited about that. I'm really excited. This is my favorite thing.
Yes.
Hold on, friend. I do hear it. And because I want your people to have good
Yes.
recording, I do hear myself.
Okay. And we're back. Like we never left.
Like we never left.
Hello.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I love it. So today we're going to be talking about social wellness, which is Petra's jam. It is her thing. She is an expert in it in real life and what she's cultivated, the atmospheres that she's cultivated. I truly admire how you create atmospheres for people to be besties, how you have that heart to hold all of that. You have the capacity. You just have a grace for it. Truly, truly. And so, we want to talk about all things, finding friendships, cultivating them, all the hard conversations around it, because for some of us, our tribe is our family, right?
Yeah.
Especially when people
Yeah.
have toxic families, dysfunctional families. And so our friends are our family.
Yeah.
And for some people, they have no family and they have no real friends. And
Yeah.
so it's a hard place to navigate for some people. And I was like, we need our faith bestie to come help us out and figure some of this stuff out together.
Say less. I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yes.
I'm here. I love it.
I love it.
Listen, this is, like she said, this is my jam. I tell people that friendship is one of my love languages. It is truly my heart's joy. It really, really is. And friend can tell y'all that. Like, this is just, if I could talk about this every day, all day, this is what I would do. And so to share a relationship with someone who holds space for someone like me is huge, because I'm always going to champion godly, healthy relationship. And that means that we have to have hard conversations sometimes, never demeaning or damaging conversations, but always hard, transparent, organic conversations, holy conversations, because I believe that our relationship is covenant. And so I also believe that it's consecrated. And so it requires a different level of intentionality and purpose. And so, briefly, if we're going to do like intros, because I don't know if that's what she
Yes.
wants on here.
Yes.
I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm all those things. I'm an attorney. I lead Petra Pindar Inc., which really everybody calls Hey Pretty. And I call Hey Pretty because it is the platform that God gave me to speak to the beauty in every woman at her core, how he created us, the holiness that's within her. Songs 4 and 7, you're altogether beautiful, my darling. There are no flaws in you. And he gave me specific areas to speak to every woman, and all of it relates to relationship. How we love ourselves, how we care for ourselves in the way that God has called us to, and in the way that it's tapped into the relationship that we have with him so that we can better love each other. And so being able to live this out and finally having people not think I'm crazy for always saying, like, listen, your friendships are your first point of discipleship. It's your first point.
Yeah.
The way that you engage, the way that you connect with people, the way that you love on people, that's your first point of discipleship. And if you don't get that right, you can miss so many other opportunities. Even between friend and I, the way that we have nurtured and cultivated our friendship, I believe is discipleship because of what
Yeah.
we've done together, who we've
Mhm.
blessed together, how we've expanded together, how we've stretched together, how we have held each other accountable, how we have pruned together. Like all of those things have been interwoven into our relationship. And I think is a great example of what I mean by discipleship, because a lot of the things that I listed in my introduction, those are just things that I do. They're not necessarily who I am. Okay.
Mm.
So we can all have certain talents and skills that we put into play, right? But where we are and where we're shifting, especially what friend and I were talking about before we even jumped on with y'all, is that we're shifting into our gifted and our anointed space, which speaks to who we actually are.
Yeah.
Okay. It's actually what we were created for and to be and to produce. It's not the things that we do. Okay. Because production and doing are two different things, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Ooh.
but there that that's a thing. And so all of your friendships need to push you here. They need to push you into the holiest place that you can be. That
Yeah.
means that you have shed your perceptions of each other and taken on the familiarity of God with
Yeah.
each other, right? That you see the God in the other person and that your spirit is familiar with that. That's that's what I do and that's what I love. It's what I teach.
I mean, do y'all see what I'm saying? It's just you exude, and that is who you are as a friend. It's
Mm,
not just words, right? It's sometimes we
mm-mm.
see people and they say things, but it's who you are. You exude it because you live it out in real life.
Yeah.
And we've lived it out, like you said, friend, in a very real way.
A
Yes.
very
Yes. Real way. Like,
that's the thing. That's the
but
thing.
but friend, so you are so confident and you are so good at establishing these things, and you're calling as a faith bestie. If we start there,
Yeah.
how did that develop? How did you know to step into that? Because I
Y'all,
y'all, yeah.
my people, my literal people. Okay, so let me also put this too. Your people that are in your circle should know you just as well or better than you know you.
Mm,
Okay. Because they should be able to see the nuances of you, the details of you. Remember what I said, you need to be familiar with the God in them.
yeah.
Right? So that requires a level of inspection of who they are. That requires a level of intentionality, a level of consistency in building relationship with them, and realizing that my heart and my love for friendship, everything that I was doing was going back to it. Like literally everything I was doing, I was like, I'm going to try to do business and I'm going to try to do this. And I'm going to try to do this. And it all, everything that I did, it always, friend will tell you, it always went back to, okay, let me show you how to be friends. Let me show you how to connect. Let me show you
Yeah.
how to build partnerships. Let me show you how to build community. And it was like, Petra, that's all, they're all your
Yeah.
friends. Like,
Yeah, they're all your friends.
your friends,
Yeah.
and I sat with the Lord on that and I said, I know my heart and I know what I love and I know what you've given me a love and desire for. Is this though what you would call ministry? Is this what you would call
Mm,
being a productive fig tree? Is this what you're saying to me? And am I running from that? And he resoundingly said yes. He said, I've given you all of this, and it always points back to where I have set you. Every time you try to do this and that, yes, it's blessed in a way because you always come back to the core thing.
this.
And the
Yeah.
core thing is this. And your people, they champion you being exactly who you are. Not one of them has asked you to do or be anything else or to create anything else. They like you and love you just how you are. And more importantly, they push you to stay there. And that's important. So when you're choosing your friends, your spirit should be the one that's choosing and not you. Your flesh should not choose your friends
Yeah.
because you'll choose the people that's popular. You'll choose the people that stroke your ego. You'll choose the people that are your amen corner, and you'll choose the people that you think can do something for you. You need to let your spirit choose because your spirit will choose the ones that are aligned with the plan and purpose for you.
Mm,
the people that will support you in your growth, the people that will support you in your accountability, the people that will support you in your stretching, the people that will support you in elevation, the people that will also support you when you're told to sit down. Yeah, it'll be the people that you can tell the real stuff to. It'll be
Yeah.
the people that you can literally be stripped down in front of and still be safe in front of. That's how your spirit will choose. But that's because your spirit should be guided by God to be familiar by the spirit within them, because the word says, try the spirit by the spirit. That
Yeah.
doesn't just apply for when people are filled with demons, y'all. But okay.
Mm, mm,
It just doesn't, like, not the case. Y'all
not
can't
the
be in
case.
relationship with people just because they look good. It doesn't do you any benefit. The Lord doesn't settle for good, and so why do we?
Mm,
That's not where it is. And so asking him what I needed to do and how I needed to do it and leading me to this idea of Faith Besties, because all of the people that are in my circle are my best friends. There's no one in my inner circle that's not my best friend. And I
mm,
have a handful of y'all, and you all know who you are. Friend
yeah.
is one, but
Yeah.
that's it. There's nobody that I can't be completely me with in my inner circle. Now there's, whatever, but my circle, yeah. And so that's where Faith Besties comes from, because I believe that I have been called to help those around me navigate life to live it well. And
Yeah.
I do it from a space of faith, but I do it as though I love you like those girls in my inner circle. I'm going to
Mm,
love everybody. Now, I'm not going to give you all of me. Okay. I'm gonna be very real, but neither should anybody else. If they're
yeah.
not in your inner sanctum, you don't need to be giving them all of you anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's not a thing. So let's just leave that where it's at. But that's where I've been called to help you navigate life well. And that's from a space of faith, because faith should undergird everything that you're doing.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to contain myself. Trying to contain myself, y'all. I want to scream. This is literally our conversations too. And I'm like, I forgot we're recording because I'm here like ready to like because it's so powerful. You said a few things, but there was one that was really hitting my spirit, and that was when you connected the dots of
Yeah.
what God had called you to, and you were
Mm-hmm.
doing all the things, and your circle, your friends, your people
Mm-hmm.
were the ones that helped you,
Yeah.
because that's what we're there for.
Yes.
And I sense that there's a lot of people running around in circles
Mm-hmm.
because they have the wrong people
Mm-hmm.
in the
Mm-hmm.
wrong places and the wrong roles.
Yes.
You have people that don't see the God in you,
Mm-mm.
that aren't in alignment,
Mm-mm.
aren't equally yoked.
Mm-mm.
And so you are like, what's my purpose? And what's my calling? And what's this? And what's that? And you're frantic, and you have people in the wrong places because you are not used to having friends. So you're settling for
Yes.
anybody to be your friend.
Yes. 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 And that's dangerous.
Very.
So listen, the word says that we have to have wise counsel. Okay. That comes from your friends. Okay. It comes from your mentors, all the things, but the people that have a different level of access to you.
All right, friend.
But wisdom comes from God. So if the people in your circle don't have relationship with God, they automatically need to be moved outside of your inner circle, because they can't fulfill the basic parts of the role, because wisdom comes from God. Period. They
Period.
cannot give you any counsel. If you don't know that they have a relationship with God, as in Jesus the Christ, Jesus Nathaniel the Christ, take them out. Because here's the thing, and here's why. Because the counsel that they give you, it'll be from their flesh. And half of the time, it will be because they see your anointing, but they
Mm,
don't understand your anointing. And so they will give you what they perceive to be the right answer, or what they hope will throw you off. Because some of these people that y'all have in your corner, they are not clapping for you, they're trapping for you. Okay? Y'all got to choose better and start with the basic. If there is no fruit from them, you cannot eat with them. Okay? That's the basic. That's just right there. Okay? And when you're talking about being afraid of relationships, you are also afraid of relationship with you, which means you need to address your triggers about yourself.
Mm.
Because half of this stuff that you're projecting onto other people is really about what you see in the mirror. So therapy is a good idea.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, I believe in therapy,
Full-fledged.
it's a real thing because we deserve to love ourselves in a healthy way. We deserve that. But to do that, you also have to know you, which means you may need help.
Yeah.
Get the help. It's okay. It's okay. Because again, if you're afraid of relationships, you're also afraid of relationship with yourself, which means you have not taken the time to delve into yourself, which means you have nothing to offer into relationships. So the things that you're expecting of them, you can't give either. So just let that go. Do the work on you first. That's a requirement. I think that you also have to understand too, that there are going to be some people that are sent to you that you don't like at first. That doesn't take away from that they were sent. Now, there are some that were sent by the enemy and some that are sent by God. So that goes back to you need to have your own relationship with God so that you have a clear discernment.
Yeah.
Okay. But there will be people that the Lord sends to you that has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not you like them. What it has to do with is can they help you to produce? Will they be the ones to stand with you? Will they be the
Yeah.
ones to fight with you? Will they be the ones to cover you? Will they be the ones to hold you accountable? And more than likely, the answer is yes. But most of us are used to just good friends, friends who clap for us instead of friends that push us. And that's why we don't like other people. But that's not necessarily a friend. They
That
can't
is
agree with you all the time. Nobody's right all the time.
right.
That's
Right.
that's impossible. Like it's just impossible. And so if they're always agreeing, you should probably check on that. You should probably check on that. And again, this has nothing to do with whether or not they're good people. I really want people to put that to the side
Yeah.
because people love to talk, but they're good people. I'm not talking about that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Because if you're going to have the type of faith bestie relationship that your elevation requires, you need to be focused on godly over good.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good people that you're not going to see in heaven. A lot of them. And God bless you. There
Yeah.
really are. I don't know how else to say that. But when you're talking about acceleration and elevation into the gifted and anointed space, you need people that are pursuing holiness. That means that they're going through the sanctification process, that they are also being consecrated before God, and they're calling you out to be accountable to the same.
Mm.
That has nothing to do with being good.
That's it. That
You,
part.
you, you see what I'm saying? And so your relationship has to pivot and shift that way if you're going to produce in the way that the visions, the prophetic words that have been spoken of your life are going to come.
Yeah.
That's just, but here we
That's
are.
that's just it. That is just it. Friend, that is so rich. Now, I mean, that's period. Yeah, let that breathe. That's just period. Because I feel like the excuses do start coming of like, well, they're a good friend. Well, I've known them 20 years. Well,
Oh,
I've,
yeah.
it pretty much we grew up together and
Right.
but it doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter because, so I have those friends too. And
Yeah.
some of them we're still hanging steady because there is still fruit there, right?
Yeah.
But there are some that there is no fruit. And so why are you holding on to the dead thing? It keeps you from nurturing and sustaining the live thing, which means that your attention is diverted, which means that you have begun to idolize a relationship, which means that you're now practicing idolatry, which is in opposition to God, which means that that's going to be torn down anyway. So what are we doing? What are we doing?
Wasting time and energy.
Yes. Yes. Because again, just because someone is good does not make them the right fit. How many times have each of us been to the tailor? It was a really good outfit, but it didn't really fit right until we took it to the tailor and it was custom fit to us. That is the difference between good and godly. There are people that are preordained for us at every level of us. Because remember, you're always evolving, you're always growing, right? Because you are in pursuit of holiness. You're in a sanctification, perfecting process. That means that there is always something that is being honed on
Mm,
you.
yeah.
Okay. That's a thing. It's the same in your friendships and your relationships. So if you find that you are either overly comfortable or you're overly anxious in certain relationships, those are the ones that you probably need to check. Those are the ones.
Mm,
Because you either know is not right, and that's why you're anxious, or you're too comfortable and you have chosen to discard that it's wrong for you.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that causes, and we talk about how the different dimensions impact one another. Then you're struggling with your mental health, your emotional health. It's stunting your growth. So it impacts your spiritual growth. All of it. It's all interconnected.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
All of it. Because the right relationship, the godly relationships, will help you pivot in every single dimension, in every single area.
Every single one. And I think, again, we're a testament to that.
Yes.
I
Yes.
really do. Like, I mean, and we don't just say it just to say it, but I think
No.
if you're looking for proof, here it is, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because you could put it up
Yeah.
against other ones. You can say,
Yeah.
okay, I've had this, and this is what we have. And I see the difference in that. I see,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And it's not because it's an ego thing, but I think it's a submission thing.
That
Because
part.
when you submit to the will of God and you allow Him to direct your relationships, your friendships, you see something different because you're experiencing something different.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I can trust you with me and vice versa. And I don't have to second guess it. I don't have to be like, shoot, I shouldn't have told her that. Oh my
Uh-huh.
God. Like you don't have that.
I
I
need
don't
you
have
to
a
make me
feeling
cry,
that when I'm
Bestie.
gonna call you that you're going to
Yeah.
send me to Anna. You're gonna send me to God.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Like we can have our moments and we can kick and we have a good time, but at the end of the day, you're gonna send me to
Mhm.
God.
That part.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think that that's what people are missing, and that's why the Lord has given me space to take my heart's love and have a ministry where I can love on people and get them to where they need to be in their own relationships. Because I've been blessed with mine. Like, and I tell you that all the time. Like, I'm thankful. I don't have to have another friend ever because I'm covered by y'all,
Yeah.
right? I'm good. But to
Literally.
have the opportunity to get people into spaces where they can begin to build their own, I mean, that's the biggest blessing I've ever received. The biggest
Listen,
blessing I've ever received.
between thinking about art, I literally was just welling up. It's just, my tears are always on like the
Listen, we'll
gratitude
cry.
I
Don't
have.
worry.
Listen, I'm like,
You know
friend,
it's coming. We're gonna cry at some point.
at some point, I'm like holding, because it's like you just know the gratitude. I'm like,
Yes.
God, because I see it,
Yes.
I
Yes.
feel it, and I live it.
Yes. Yes.
And it's just so powerful because when you haven't had that, like you said,
You know.
and if people come in, there's some people that just don't know. You start doubting yourself, or it's a hard season, so things feel rocky. When you
Yeah.
have somebody that's solid and you compare, like, this person's acting like this, they're not respecting my boundaries. Maybe it's me, maybe I'm crazy. And then you're like, no, but I have this solid. You compare and you're like, nah, it's not me.
It's not you.
It's not. It's like, nah, this is solid. And so you have something to compare it to. And it's just about making the hard decisions to
Yeah.
let those things go. So, friend, I'm wondering though, for those people that are in that space they're just holding on to friendships and holding on to the people that they should have let go a long time ago.
Yeah.
How do they let go of them? Because people worry. I mean, there's some aspect of people pleasing and, different things,
Sure.
but how do they let go of these people with love?
So I'm gonna say something that's really harsh, but because you're my person in real life, so these people are my people in real life now. She's laughing
That's
because she
it.
knows I'm about to do the most. I'm already here. So I mean, we're here. I'm gonna tell you something. We do not have the right to keep people past their season. There is a commandment that says, thou shalt not kill. This applies here. When you keep someone past their season or you're kept past your season, you're killing them. You're killing their gift and you're killing their anointing. There is no way that they can produce or grow in a space that was never defined for them, and vice versa. So you've broken a commandment and you have created a stronghold. Let it go. Choose God above all else, above a person and above yourself. Choose God. If it feels like you just can't do it, then I'm going to challenge you to begin to pray about idolatry in your life, because it has become an idol to you. You either feel that you can save them or you feel that they have saved you. Either way, they have taken the place of God. You've got to deal with idolatry. Because if you don't, he will. You do not have the right to detain people. You have now created a stronghold through idolatry, and you have broken the commandment of killing. Okay.
Well, nah, but real talk, that's it.
But it is, though, friend.
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
think about
Yeah.
bodily harm, but
Yes.
your spirit matters more than
Yes.
your body. That's what the word tells, right?
Yeah.
Because your
Yeah.
spirit is eternal.
Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
we have all been created to effectuate the glory of God in the earth. But if you keep someone in bondage in a relationship with you that keeps them from fulfilling what God has called them to do, what have you done?
Mm.
I mean, just in just sit and think, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't hard.
Yeah.
Is it a hard conversation? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And that's okay. And you're going to pray about it. You're going to weep about it. You're going to read your word about it. You're going to go to those people that are actually supposed to be in your circle about it. You're going to take some time about it. You may lose a little sleep about it, but it always has to come back to, will you choose God above all else? You can
Yeah.
have the hard conversations, y'all, because at some point we've got to choose emotional maturity too. Because all this patty caking with people and we can't have these hard conversations, but then we complain about feeling depleted and deficient in certain areas, but that's because we chose that. Y'all got to grow up from that. We got to grow up, friend, because
Yeah.
what if I was holding on to relationships that I knew no longer served the Petra that he was calling forward when I met you? I would not have had space for you.
Mm.
I would not. And then we would have missed what God had ordained for us to do together,
My God.
which also means that we would have missed the opportunity to impact the lives that he had called forward for us. And again,
Yes.
that's killing opportunities for other people. I mean, the
Yeah.
maths.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that part about emotional maturity is not just about you.
Mm-mm.
It's not just about you. When you see the way friend just broke that down, when you're not connected with the right people, other lives are impacted. We have to get past the place of it's just about me. I want to feel good. You want to be on social media. Like we go out to
Doesn't make any
brunch.
sense. Doesn't make any
None,
sense.
none.
Mm.
You become a hindrance to the lives of others. They've become a hindrance to your life and killing the spirit. I mean, I felt that.
But it's what it is. We keep asking God for things. We keep praying about things. We keep saying, God, I want you to open this door. I want you to give us this level of access. I want you to give me this opportunity. And we can't even handle the people in our everyday lives. What are we asking for?
Mm,
What are we asking for? He can't trust us with those things. He can't, because he's commissioned us in this area and we have not completed that assignment. Right? So you asked him for this and you're praying for this. You're like, God is not listening and he's not responding. He heard you and he did respond. And the answer was no, because you were not ready.
mm.
But okay, we'll be good.
But okay. We'll be good and angry in that place. But you know what I heard, friend, too, is like on all levels, is being real about where
Yes.
you are.
Yeah.
Sure, believe and pray for the things and the promises and
Sure.
all that. Continue to have faith for that. But I
Sure.
think being real and being introspective about where you are and doing a heart check
Mhm.
can I really handle the things that, and when you're not emotionally mature, you say you are and be mad at God, be mad at all the things around you in your circumstance and the lack of friends or whoever's there or walking on eggshells around the people in your life. But the chaos is
The
because you
chaos.
haven't taken a hard look at yourself.
And when I tell you, it's it's not even that you haven't, you refuse to.
Mm,
We refuse. We refuse because we feel like, well, God can't really mean that. I can't really be that bad. But that's because we're always doing this good and bad comparison,
mm,
right? I'm not
yeah,
a bad person. I
yeah,
do bad things.
yeah,
But again, that's not what this conversation is. You see, you guys see what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, I feel like if you're going to talk about wellness, then we have to stop just settling for basic. I've never known God to be basic.
ever.
I've never known that. And I mean, and I've tried him in a whole lot of ways.
Same.
I have, but I mean, if we're gonna be real, like I listen, I have. I've absolutely tried God. And I'm thankful that he has been gracious to me, because he didn't have to be.
Mm,
He didn't have to be, but he was. And that I think is also why now I don't run from the hard things anymore. Because why? He didn't run from me.
yeah.
And I absolutely was a hard thing.
Mm.
I gave him a run for his money. I did.
Listen.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of us do.
Yeah, yeah. If
If
we're
we're being
real,
honest, I
if
think
we're
a
being
lot of us.
real, yeah, yeah,
And so knowing that, okay, we just got to get back to realizing, like, y'all, there's more. There's more and there's greater. And if we're going to worry about feelings more than we worry about obedience, we'll miss out of everything.
yeah, yeah. And that part. And while feelings are important, they cannot govern, back to what you said at the beginning. They cannot govern our lives. And I feel like this season in particular is heavy on that because there's a shift, there's something coming where we can't dwell in the space of like, oh, my feelings, my feelings, my feelings. And if we're looking at it from an earthly, your feelings are valid and whatever, and people make too much
Yeah.
space for that.
Mhm.
I feel like
And they
sometimes
do
it
every
makes,
time.
yeah.
Every time. Because
And
again, like you said, like, of course our feelings are valid.
yeah,
Of course they are. But you can't be governed by them.
that part,
That's not a thing. The only thing that we can be governed by is God.
period.
Period. We belong to him. If we we really believe what we say, that we've submitted ourselves unto him, what the word says, it calls us slaves to God.
Yeah,
He has ownership.
we belong to
We
him
belong to him.
in
The end.
every area.
In every area.
I think sometimes we pick and choose.
Yes.
We're like, this part, no, but in every single area. And it is that deep. It is
Like, it
that
really is. It is that deep. And it's okay. People are like, everything doesn't have to be so deep. You sure?
deep. I think so.
Because I think so. I think eternity is deep.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I mismanage the people that he has ordained for me, you think he's gonna let me play in his face in heaven? What y'all think?
Mm,
I don't think so. I do not believe that.
no.
He has given us certain things to specifically govern and to steward, right?
Yeah.
Our friendships are a part of that.
Yeah.
If we continue to mismanage them, we will answer for that.
Mm,
We will.
mm. Listen, friend. That part right there. And so that's an example of us having a hard conversation with
Uh-huh.
y'all because we're all in this together. So for our relationship to grow, we all got to have this hard conversation
1,000%.
because we can't let you stay in that space and place.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
It feels uncomfortable. We'll get past that. It'll be okay.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay. I and honestly, it'll be better than okay.
Yeah.
It'll be hard. Like we're not taking away from that. And I'm not trying to minimize how hard this will be and how
Yes.
sometimes your heart will break when you have to break up with certain friends. I don't want to minimize that. But I
Absolutely.
also don't want to minimize the fact that we break God's heart by choosing people over him. I don't want to minimize that.
Yeah.
I don't, because there are certain things that we can only get done if we're connected to certain people. And that's a part of his preordained plan.
That
And when
part.
we choose other people over what he says, we break his heart too.
Yeah.
So why minimize that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just as important, if not more, that his heart is grieving as you continue to
Yes,
stay in that place with these relationships and these friendships and mismanaging people, mismanaging your purpose, your calling, your life, all of it. His heart is literally grieving.
literally grieving.
Mm.
You see,
And that,
you know what I mean?
yeah. And that should grieve our hearts.
That should grieve. There you go.
That
That's
should
the
grieve
part.
our hearts. When
That's
I
the part.
think about that, especially if you're a feeler, you literally sense when you are grieving and you're going through all that, that you sense that you feel that, that's how he feels.
Yes. Yes.
And we have to get to that space where we're like, oh, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. But
Hmm.
friend, after we do this work, let's
Hmm.
say there's people that have done this hard work and all of that, and they're coming out of this isolation season because some spaces of isolation is really doing the hard work. God is doing the
Yeah,
hard
yeah, yeah,
work.
yeah. Yeah,
And now
yeah.
you're coming out of that.
Yeah.
How do you find kingdom friendships and relationships and how do you sustain them?
Friend, did you ask me how did you find them first?
Yeah, sorry. How did you find them
Okay.
first? Yeah.
You saw me pause, guys.
Yeah. I know I threw two questions in there at the same time.
Wait, I feel like she asked me too, and I want to make sure.
It's my brain.
um, so the first thing is to find them or to be found, you have to be in the relationship with him, right? So that you can hear him clearly because he's going to send some and he's going to send you to some. That's the thing. And so if you're doing this the right way, you are only in spaces that he has ordained for you to be in anyway. You're not entering rooms, you're not entering spaces that he didn't call you into. You're not creating conversations, you're not creating opportunities that he didn't call you to create. You're not manipulating people and you're not forcing people into being in relationship with you. So to be find and to be found actually starts with the way that you handle your relationship with him, right? Because you are in alignment with his plan. So if you're doing the things that he has called you to, you will automatically be in the spaces that they are in. And then he will either send you to them or he will send them to you. And because you have nurtured your relationship with him, your discernment will pick them up. Because again, our own relationship, it was a crazy random IGDM that wasn't meant for me. But instead of me being like, let me swipe this because I don't know this crazy person, I immediately was like, hold on,
Literally.
something's
Literally.
here. Let me see who this is. And
Yeah.
from that, we're here. Right. But it was because we were in the right space that he had sent us to, not to stay. That's also a thing. Because sometimes we think that we have to stay in the space where we met. That's not a thing. But that's a whole other
Mm-mm.
conversation. Because you outgrow places, not necessarily people. But anyways,
Woo!
just
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
that's a thing. But because we were in this space of our own stretching and trying to get to where we needed to be and hearing him and listening to him, we were in the right space to meet each other. And then we left the space together because we were sent there for each other. I believe that. I believe wholeheartedly that we were sent to that space just for each other.
Same.
I don't talk to anybody else out of there.
We don't do anything else. I don't do anything else. I don't talk to anyone. And I'm like, all I got was friend. That's all I needed.
And that's all I need. we picked up our bags and quietly walked out and said, okay, well, it's been great.
See you later. I didn't even say see you later.
I didn't either. Like, yeah.
That's very real too. It's like sometimes y'all want to do too many formalities and want to look right in front of certain people and all these different things. There, you need to discern even how you exit a place, depending on the relationship, depending on the person. And again, discernment and how God leads you, because that place I left and I was like, there is no sit down conversation. There's no email. There is nothing. See you later. Bye.
Yeah. Okay. I literally just had this conversation. She already knows. So I had a conversation with somebody else the other day, and I said, you're still wanting to invest your gifts and your anointing into fields that will never yield for you. Stop doing that. Y'all keep giving people more than what they're owed.
Ooh.
Stop. And again, we try to talk about what's the respectful thing. It's the polite thing to do. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like when you really stop to think about it, what?
Right.
What is happening here?
But
again, if you are aligned with God, He will make it clear what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And that's all you have to do.
That's all you have to do.
That's all you have to do. So if you're looking for these godly friends, work on your relationship with Him.
Yeah.
Work on that. Because we need to be able to know you. And the only way we'll know you is if your spirit is louder than your flesh. That's the only way that we're going to know you. Because I friend will tell you, if there's too much stuff going on with you, I'm out. I'm good. I'm good. I'm like, I already left. I'm not here. Like, you know what I mean? But if you are developing your relationship with Him, that means that your spirit's voice is loud. That means that what you carry is loud. And that means that my spirit will recognize that first, instead of seeing your flesh being a whole red flag.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And then when you're talking about sustaining those relationships, right, you have to stay in the same place before God.
Yeah.
Right? Because the way that you build and sustain your relationship with Him will automatically cover the rest of your relationships. The way that I choose God above everything else does not minimize my love for friend. In any way. Like, she knows I will go to bat for her in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if God is calling me to do something, I have to do that. And it has absolutely nothing to do with how I feel about her. Which again goes back to emotional maturity. Half of y'all think that people are not good friends to you because they aren't choosing you over God. You're asking them to sin. Stop. Okay? Stop. Because again, y'all keep wanting this conversation about good friends instead of godly friends. But okay. But you want to sustain something. You've got to choose God first.
Yeah.
You've got to choose Him because He'll also develop you in a way that will help you to carry the person effectively, their spirit effectively, right?
Yeah.
That will help you to hold them accountable effectively. That will help them to stretch, to grow, to help you to support them. Because sometimes she doesn't tell me what's going on, but I'm praying for her. I'm like, you good? And then she's like, we need to talk. And then, okay, cool. Like the spirit will tell us, hey, you need to tap in. We have recharge dates. Like these are the things that you need. The spirit directs us, right? And so that is what helps us to sustain the relationship, which means that you need to be doing the work again on you, above all else on you, so that you are healthy for them.
Jesus. It is a carrying in the spirit and being mentally and emotionally healthy.
Yes.
Because that's what it is. It's a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're not a good friend," and, all these things like, "I don't need low maintenance friends," and all these things, and we're asking things of people. You're asking them to be God in your life,
Yes.
and then we go back to idolatry.
There you go. See, friend? And you're like, ah.
When you see it like that,
Mhm.
but when
That's what
you're
it
not
is.
when you're not having the right conversations with the right people, they'll appease that part of you and validate this experience, and I'm not saying that it's,
Mhm.
there's a level for that, but there's also like,
Sure. Yeah.
I need to
Hmm.
be real with you and tell you that you're not looking at this the right way. But the people that you have in your life are not going to tell you that,
Or you don't trust them to,
or you don't trust them to.
which then you should be wondering why you're in a relationship. Because if friend tells me something, I trust that she's telling because the Holy Spirit is talking to her. I may not like it. I may feel very much so like, I don't want to hear that today. You could have kept that.
You could
But
keep.
it doesn't change that I know that she carries me in the spirit. And because she carries me in the spirit, she's interceded with the Holy Spirit on my behalf first. So I don't have to like it. We want to like things a lot. We really,
Mm,
really do. And we equate that with respecting it. It's not the same. It
it's
has
not.
nothing to do with it. They're not the same thing.
Mm,
I'm not always going to like what you tell me. I'm not going to feel comfortable with what you tell me. I'm going to respect what you said. I'm 1,000% going to respect what you said. And I'm going to go to the Holy Spirit and say, okay, get me into the right posture
yeah.
to hear what you're really wanting me to hear from this.
Yeah.
And if there's more that she has to download, but because I had a hardened heart and she couldn't fully release my heart.
That part.
But again, that goes to your relationship with God.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So if you're going to sustain anything, gotta sustain that first. You gotta choose him above all else. You got to choose him.
Literally. That's it. You got to choose him above all else, especially if you want Christ centered, healthy friendships.
Mhm, mhm. If
Those,
if it's not Christ centered, by the way, they're assignments more than likely. And so half of y'all are putting people that are you're meant to mentor and lead into friendship roles, and you're wondering why they're failing at the support. But okay.
thank you, friend. Yeah.
I just I,
Yeah, that's real. I'm glad you said that because I sensed it earlier and I forgot to ask because I was like, that's important. When you have people in the wrong buckets, if you put it in a practical sense, if you think about these people that are supposed to be pouring into you, people that
yes.
are supposed to be doing life with you, and people that you're supposed to be pouring into, people
Mhm.
are all out of in the wrong buckets and you have these crazy expectations.
Woo! It's awful. It is awful.
Awful.
It is. And you be talking like, girl, what? How did you even get what?
Yeah.
But it happens often. It happens
Mhm.
often. It happens often. Mhm. But it's also because sometimes we want to forge relationships again with the people that we think can get us to a certain place, as opposed to forging with the people that will be with us in this place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Half the people that
comfortable.
y'all think you're in relationship with are people that you were meant to lead, and you're wanting to force relationship with those who are meant to lead you. But okay. My mentor is my mentor.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And we're good. Like, we laugh, we kiki all the things, but she's my mentor.
That part. The
Okay.
boundaries are different.
They're different. They're different. And it's important for them to be different because I have a different expectation of what that relationship is going to produce. Okay. But when you're talking about your friends, they're in this space with you. Now, some of us may be a couple steps ahead or, whatever,
Yeah.
but we're in
Yeah.
the same
Yes.
area. Okay. Same area.
Mhm.
It's different.
That's it.
But then there's these others that because that you have chosen to bring them into your inner sanctum and they can't even handle what's in your inner sanctum. And you're wondering why they're failing at showing up in the way that you expected them to. That's on you. They weren't equipped for that. Half of us are pulling people into seasons that they're not yet ready or trained for, which means that you've pulled them out of alignment.
And you're putting them in danger.
Yes. 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 You also put your own harvest at risk.
Yeah.
Because you're too busy trying to train them instead of trying to train them in their own field. You're training them in your field. That's not how this works. That's not how this works.
And they are not equipped.
No. Mm-mm. And again, this is not a conversation about whether they're good people or not. So please don't go there. Please. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with that. But we like to put God within our time constraints, but time was created for us. And because he's given us visions about where we're going, we want to carry these extra people with us. That is not wise, nor does it apply to them. Because half of y'all are acting like Saul out here and trying to impress God and do more with God than he asked you to do. And so he's going to wipe you out and remove you from your throne. But okay.
Hmm.
That's what it is. That's what it is. We
It,
do. You know what I
yeah.
mean? We do
Yeah.
that though. We
Yeah.
really, really, really do that. And we
Yeah.
get mad at the mentors who are really trying to maintain the boundaries and say, absolutely not. No, we're not hanging out. No, we're not doing X. And we feel a certain type of way because
Mm-hmm.
we've shared certain things with them. They've, seen us at our low, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Yep.
Yeah. That's why you need the right people to help you navigate that emotional place.
That's
Especially,
right.
I wanted to say this for those that are being broken down, your foundation is being broken down. This is going to feel like a lot
Oh, yeah.
because you already feel like, God is moving this, moving that, especially if you're in a place and space with, family members where you're like, okay, I got to set boundaries with them. So then I have nobody. Now you want me to get rid of these friends. It's because your structure, your foundation isn't in the right place.
Right.
So it's going to feel like a lot. And so a lot of this conversation may be really hard and triggering certain spaces. So then that's when you have to do that heart check. Like, what is being triggered and why?
And why? Yeah.
And going deeper.
Yeah. Because it's not us that wants you to get rid of your friends. I want to say that. Like, I know that this is a hard conversation. I know that it can be triggering, but understand we're not wanting you to get rid of your friends. We're wanting you to make space for your actual friends. Okay. So you've got to change your thinking. The
Yes.
way that you're speaking to yourself, the way that you are undergirding the negativity in your life, you've got to switch that first. That's you can get rid of anything. The Lord has all, they're not even in your circle as far as the Lord is concerned anyway. So you're not really getting rid of anything. But I'm gonna let that stay there. What we're asking you to do is to make space for the friends who are actually ordained for you. That's what we're asking because you deserve it and so do they.
Yeah.
And even though you feel a lot of upheaval now, you have to understand that the upheaval is not to turn your world upside down, it's to turn it right side up.
Yeah.
You've already been upside down,
Mm,
but you're just used to the blood rushing to your head. He's turning it right side up.
mm,
So everything that you feel is a battle or God just taking things away. He's trying to right everything for you.
yeah.
Again, shift your thinking. These are going to be hard things, but they're beneficial things.
Yeah.
These are going to be things that can be confusing in a moment, but they're things that will make sense in the end. And again, we're talking about the end because eternity is the deepest thing that we ever going to talk about.
Yeah.
And it's the longest thing we're going to talk about. So our focus has always got to be the end. So if it's hard, if it feels a certain type of way, it is hard. It does feel like upheaval, but it's because he's turning your world right side up.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Shift your thinking. Shift your thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Manage your feelings and emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Allow the development of growing emotionally mature
Mm-hmm.
and God above all else. Okay, if you got nothing, because you're gonna have to go back and listen to this and take notes. I know. Like, I feel like the first time is gonna be like, ouch, ouch. You might be mad at us. And it's okay.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I am too.
I love you enough to let you be okay. That's fine.
And I love you and I care more about your soul.
I really, really do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really do.
And I want you to experience thriving, flourishing relationships and
It's the
friendships.
best. It's the
Oh,
best.
I love it here.
I mean, I really love it here.
Me too.
I mean, I really love it. Like I really love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how to explain. Like, I be telling me, like, that's not my testimony. Like, I really love it over here.
Yeah. 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 Right here. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to sustain this, which is I'm going to sit at the feet of the Father and check my heart constantly. Because this right here.
This, I love it here. I love it here. I love it here. And I want you to love where you are, whatever that looks like. And so, friend is right. It probably is going to be hard. It was hard for us too, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you can learn from a lesson without having to go through a lesson. So I'd rather it feel harsh now, so you don't even have to go through some of this stuff.
Mm.
We don't have to travail for everything, y'all. We don't have to have carrying service for everything. Some things we just got to make a conscious decision about. Just choose God.
Yeah.
Just choose God. Because you're never going to lose anything with him. I can say that with all confidence. You never lose anything by choosing God. Ever. So here we are.
That's it, friend.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's all.
Child, this was so rich on my soul. I don't know about y'all. No, I'm just kidding. I do care about how I hit y'all. But, whoo, friend, thank you for pouring into the well like you always do. You give it your all, pouring into us, taking the time to walk us through this, having the hard conversations with us, because we need it. We need it. And this is why you're first. You set the foundation, okay? You set the foundation. After I did the whole little intro, you set the foundation, okay?
Listen, I hope that I did what you needed me to do. I know that you probably had some things that you wanted to ask me, but this is how we talk in real life. So
No. I send questions for formality, and God runs this show.
When I tell you he does, God's like, okay, friend, I'll be there.
No, real talk, guys. We had questions. They were there, okay? But God did his thing, and that's always what we ask.
That's it.
Lord, use me and use us and use this space. This is all yours. And that he did.
Above all else.
And that he did.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
This, like friend said, if you get nothing else from our conversation on every level and every detail, it's always choose God above all else. He'll do the rest. He'll do the rest. We can have all of our plans, all of our ideas, all of our expectations, but just choose God. He'll do the rest. Just choose God.
Yeah. That's it. Man, y'all. Whoo! Thank you again, friend. Thanks, y'all, for listening. You're going to have to replay this a few times. I know I am. All right. And be sure to tune in next week as we dive deeper. Make sure you look in the description because I'm going to have some handouts. We're going to walk through this practically. We're not just going to hit y'all with some stuff and then throw you out there. We're going to walk through this because I really want to see y'all be well.
Yes.
Be well. And rooted in Christ. Okay. Not just.
Yes. Yes.
To the point of being well, But thanks again, y'all. I love y'all. Be sure to subscribe, do all the things, 5-star review, leave a review, all the things. I love y'all so much. I'll see you next week. Bye.